Hello, everyone. Happy New Year. Today, we will work on our Microsoft Access tutorial number two. And in this project, in this tutorial, we will complete uh, project book database for book sales and inventory management, right? And this tutorial will guide you through the creating a database in Microsoft Access to manage a bookstore. The database will help you track book sales, inventory, and supplier information. You will learn how to design table, establish relationship, create forms, generate queries, and reports. Before moving further, let me give you the project. I should give you an overview of the project which is already completed. So that will just give you an idea what we will be trying to accomplish in our this tutorial. Okay. Basically, this is database. This is Microsoft Access, and we created this project in this program, Microsoft Access, and let me show you how. Let's first start with the forms, because from the forms we enter the data into the database, and then we will move on further nitty-gritties of what's going on. Okay. And this is basically focused on non-technical people to learn the database, relational database technologies without any going through any technical jargons or any technical details. I have tried to make it very interesting so that it will ignite your interest into the databases. Okay, let's go. First of all, this is a books form. In this form, we will record the book's information. Basically, this form is the beginning of something we have in our store, And for example, we have some books in our store which we will enter here that these are our opening stocks. Okay, let's say we have a books here, algebra and all that, AK courses, statistics, and this is ISBN number, and this is opening stock and the price. Go move to next page, next record. It's introduction to French, and so on. This table basically record information. We can enter a new record here, and all this information we enter here goes to this table. You see, this table has all the information we entered through the form, number one, right? Let's move to the next one. Once that we have the record that these are the books we have, now we move to next step. We might have to sell these, or we might add more into what we have already got. And for these, we have books transactions, and there is a master transaction. In the business entity, I will give you some an overview of these tables. Let's look into business transactions. So basically, business transaction, you see, you will only find the numbers. It records the information about transaction detail, book ID, transaction type, quantity sold or purchased, purchase price, master transaction ID. These are the table. Might look a little bit confusing, but will when we will go through with every all aspects, everything will make sense. This is a business entity. So in the businesses, in their business model, they are either supplier or a customer, right? And there should be, if there is a supplier, then they have a name and then the contact person phone number. But if there is a retail customer, they don't have the name and anything. So its person type is two. So then we have business type, business entity type. Business entity type is uh, are these supplier customers or retail customers basically, but in their model they have only retail customers or suppliers, this bookstore. Then we have courses, French, math, and then we have master transaction. So this is very important to understand this concept. The master transaction, basically once we sell or purchase anything, there is one transaction is generated at a master level. That's the that is the main aspect of the relational databases. For the master transaction, they have for one transaction, because when they generate this transaction, it's transaction ID, the date, supplier or customer, transaction underscore type, that we will record here, right? And then this information will go to transaction details. So for every, because one master transaction could have many transactions, right? So that is the business transactions related to that. And then transaction type, purchase or sale. Let me give you some idea of the relations, what are the relations with them. So here we will see, want to just to briefly introduce you some concept in the relational database is the referential integrity. So what we are doing here is we have created the tables, courses, books, book transactions, master transaction, business entity, transaction type, business underscore, business entity underscore type. So this is the books. Book table is have a course. So course is stored in the course table. So course can be French, English, biology, and any French. So for every course, one course could have many books, right? So that's why it's a referential integrity. So there is, if there is a course here, then it will be included in this. So these are basically in the referential integrity. We have the tables which we have already created. Every table is related to another table, in and it can only be possible to create these transactions once they have the respective record in their main table. In other words, basically this is an important aspect of relational databases to avoid any errors or any ambiguity or any confusion in the data we have in our tables. So for example, first we have to have a courses then we would be able to enter any record in the books. We cannot just enter any course here and then there is course something is different here. Course has to be there, and then it will be, we can use this table to include the course here, and the same thing, books have to be here then, which can be used into this transaction. And same thing, books transactions must have one master record, must have a master record, and if there is no master record we cannot create a book transaction or a business transaction, right? So that's how, and so on. So that is the one aspect of the databases. It's so these are the different forms. Let's start the project. I think we should move on to the project and learn as we go, as we move. Okay, let's start. We'll create a new database. Okay. So in this first, we have to create these tables. We will follow our already completed project to move on. Okay, that will make more sense and make the tutorial faster. Okay. Okay. This is our project. We have now opened two projects here. One is already completed, and this one we will save as tutorial. This too. Okay, let's start this. We have to enable contents. We will see we have these tables here. Let's see its design mode. Book ID, title, author, something. So we will do the same thing here. Create table, design, we'll give it a name, books. Okay, let's go there and we'll see book ID is auto number. It's a primary key. Title. Title would be short text. Author. Author. Course. Course is in numeric because it's a foreign key that will relate to the number. ISBN is a short text. Opening stop is a number. Retail price, currency. Okay, so this table, I think we have everything we need. Let's save. So we have a books table here. And now the next table will go titles. We'll close this window and now we'll create a design view, books transactions. Create. Transactions. Okay, so books transactions. TRS detail underscore ID. ID is auto number fields, the primary key. Book ID. Book underscore type ID. Is a number field. This is also a number field because these are all foreign keys here. Number. Purchase price is when we buy the books, so then we have to use this field. Purchase price would be currency, right? Okay. Master transaction ID. We're working on it, but at the end, when you will have all this completed, by everything will make sense. Okay. So right now, just do the work, and we will further elaborate what we are doing, and everything will be. I hope it will be easier to. It will be easier. It will make sense. Chase price, master transaction ID. Master transaction ID would be numeric. Business entity ID. Transaction date. transaction date, it's date time, date or time. Let's see how many fields we are here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So in our database, new database tutorial, access to 8. All of these we have. Let's double check. Detail, auto number. So everything is complete. Okay. So we'll close it and then it will save. Books transactions is saved. Now let's go to the next table. Business entity. Create table. Design a table. Name it business entity. Could be supplier or a customer ID, right? Makes sense. We only have suppliers or customers. ID, auto number field, primary key, person underscore name, short text, contact person, phone. Phone will be, let's say what is, phone is short text, but it has a phone number format, okay? Because we have to store this phone number here, so we'll go there and then we'll go input mask. You see input mask here, and then we'll use, okay, save, and then we'll use this input mask. Finish. Okay, that's done. Now let's go to the second. Person underscore type. That's a foreign key, so it would be in a numeric. Business entity is saved. Let's save it, and then we have to business and business entity underscore type. Let's see what is it. Business entity type underscore ID. So we have to create the table here. Design mode, business, the name of the table. Let's see. Business entity underscore type. Business. So business entity underscore type has, you can copy these to make it faster. I'm trying to do it just to make the tutorial faster, but you can do it at your own pace. Okay. The business entity underscore type, this also is done. Let's go to the next table, courses table. Create table, design table, COURS course, course ID, course name. ID. Okay, this one is done now. Let's go to the master transaction. Master underscore transactions. Master underscore transactions. Let's go there and create a new table. Design table. And then design control. That will be numeric because of the foreign key. This will be numeric. It's a foreign key. And then we have a transaction underscore type. Create a new table. Design table. Type. And then go there, copy these, control. Okay, so we have created all these tables. These are total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tables. And now we first have to create the referential integrity. Let's do that first. First thing first. Okay. We'll go there, just close it, database, relationships, right? So in these relationships, first we have a course table, then we have a books table, and so on. Okay, so we'll create these relations over there. So we will add all these tables. Sorry, I think I made a mistake. Let's create again. Okay. So we have all these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tables here. So first of all, we'll bring the course table here and follow our diagram over there. Then we have a books table. Then we have a books transactions table. Then we have a master transaction table to bring it here. Then we have business entity and transaction underscore type. Business entity, transaction underscore type. And then we have a business entity underscore type. We will bring it here. Let's see what's going on here now. For each course, there could be many books, right? So let's do that. Course, and it will relate to the course ID. So you see, I did a relationship course ID from the table query to so table or query is the course, and then it will be related to the course here. It's a foreign key here. We will enforce a referential integrity, means if there is a course here, then we would be able to add a book. Otherwise, we won't be able to add a book created. Then we have, let's see what we have here. I'm looking at, because just to make things faster, I'm looking already created a project, and then you can follow that to complete your project. And I believe strongly on doing the project, because reading or studying the theory just makes uh, so slow the process of learning. We should jump into the project hands-on, and then we'll that ignite our mind to learn the ways to extend our learning. Okay. Now let's see books to books transaction. Okay. Book ID. You see, book ID is the primary key, the key here, and then it's a book ID. Okay. It's a referential integrity created. Then we'll go to the transaction, to the master transaction. You see, master transaction is a different opposite. One master transaction can have many books transactions, so it will go there. Okay, so we'll go to our table and master transaction ID to master. Let's see, where is master transaction? Okay, create a referential integrity. Okay, so one transaction could have many many business transactions or books transactions. Basically, I interchangeably say, but it's a book. Business is their books. So let's move to the next one. Business entity relates to the master transactions. Business entity relates to the master transactions. Let's do that here. Business entity is a supplier or a customer. So in the master transaction, there could be a supplier or a customer. So one business entity could have many master transactions, right? One master transaction on the other end could have many business transactions or books transactions. Okay, they can a buyer or seller can buy repeatedly many books. So there is every time there is another transaction, right? And when there is a master transaction created, they will have another details of the books transactions. Let's go to the next level. Business entity. Now we have a transaction underscore type. That's an important, also very important. We'll do that. Transaction underscore type. Create a referential integrity. Okay. Business entity underscore type. So these are the business entities. These are either seller or purchaser. So we have to add the type table. Person type. Here is we have a person type. It's a buyer or a seller. Okay. Created. Okay, so we have created all these referential integrity. We have created a table. So now we'll save that relationship. We saved the relationships. Now we move to next part of that. We need to create forms to enter data. Okay, so books forms. We'll go to the design view. Okay, so in the books form, we'll create here. We'll create form. We'll use a form wizard. Okay, that makes things faster. So we need to create a book form. So we'll use the books table. Okay. And then we'll select everything. I think we need all of these fields here. Next, it's asking for what kind of form you want. We will create a form like this, which has one record per page. Okay, so columnar. Now we don't have any books, so first we will create the books. But here an important concept of data entry, and there are some objects in the Microsoft Access which we will use and create this form. So this is just generated by the wizard. We will design it, and then we will go to the we are in the we have to put our cursor here and then design it. The design view, we have book ID. Okay, we have to enter the book title ourselves, author ourselves. We have to enter this. But as you know, we have a reference in referential integrity we discussed, because we cannot enter a record unless we have a course already created. So here we need to add a lookup table. We'll delete it. And we'll add a design tab, and then we will use lookup field. And it will ask for what I want the combo to get the value from another table or a query. Okay, so we are looking for a course. Okay, So in the course ID, course name, we want to show the course name here. Okay. And we want to store the value of course ID into the books course field. Okay. And we will give the combo name course. Okay. That is done. We'll align these. Okay, now we SBN, ISBN, I think we need to add ourselves. Yeah, ISBN is the books attribute, so we have to enter it ourselves. Opening stock, we have to enter how many books already we have in our store. Okay, this is just at the beginning of the year, we will have to enter these data for every book because we're at the start of the business. So retail price will do. Okay, so let's save the form books. Right now we don't have any books. Okay, let's first create the form and then we will enter the data. This one we created. Let's close this window also. The second one is books underscore transactions. So design that. Okay, so we'll create a form in our database. Form visit, and here we will use books. Let's see what it says. It's books transactions underscore purchases. So it's a so in the transactions with detail, book ID, let me see what this is. See what it has. It doesn't have a book underscore type ID. I think we gave it a wrong name here. It's not a book ID, it's a transaction underscore type ID. Transaction underscore type ID. So we'll go our table here. Design book underscore type ID, transaction underscore type ID. Okay. Okay, now books, and now create a form for books transactions. We'll select the table from here. So the form we are creating right now is books transaction underscore purchases. So we need a price, purchase price, or purchase price. Okay. Transaction underscore date. We will create this form tabular because these are the you see these are rows of because one master transaction could have many books or purchase or sale of many books. Okay, so you'll see when it will be working. Okay, so this form is now created. Let's bit change. We will let's see what this is. Here is a business entity at the end. Then we have a transaction underscore type, date, then the purchase. Let's do this way, the way they have done. We have done before. First, we start with the master underscore transaction ID. Master underscore transaction ID. Properties. We can change the properties here, and in the data tab, master transaction ID. Okay, we have the master transaction ID at the first. Then we have a book ID. Okay, let's move these a bit further. And then we will add a book ID. So here again, important concept of the referential integrity. For every transaction, we need to have books in the books database. We'll remove this and then we'll look up for the books. So in design form, we'll add this table, this combo box, and I want to look the value from another table. We want to look into this books table because it's a book ID. Book title. Okay. And store the value in the book ID. And we don't want this label here because it's a tabular form. We already given a name here. Book ID. Let's expand it further. Okay. So we have created book ID. Let's go to the again quantity sold or purchased. Next column is quantity sold. Quantity. Let's add a We add another label, quantities, design tab, table. Okay, now we go there and the price. We need to have a price here, purchase price. Okay, we'll move these here and we'll move it here. Purchase price is here now. Okay, purchase price, transaction date. You see, a control source is showing here in the properties sheet. Okay. Now let's add what we have next. Transaction type. Business entity. Let's make this form like that. So we'll give it a title, books transaction underscore purchases. And rename it. Okay. So we'll create another form. Let's see what's next they have. Books transactions underscore sales. We'll go to the form wizard to make things faster. So again, we will have the same table, but here we will have a bit of different fields. We need this book ID, transaction type ID, quantity sold or purchased. We don't need a purchase price because we will establish a retail price in the books database, right? So master transaction ID, business entity ID, transaction ID. Let's go next. Tabular form. Next. Okay. There we go. We have our books transactions. Okay, here we'll again go to the design mode and no, this one, not this one. This one. Please always make sure that you selected the right one. We just created the form which is named as, it always take the name from the table, but we will have to modify it, okay? We'll design it and then we'll make it a bit broader and we'll follow what we have already done. Let's close this one. Let's design it, and then we have a master transaction. Okay, let's go there. Change this record source to master transaction. And then we have a books. Let's again do the same thing. Okay. We have to move these bit right side and make it broader because we will be showing the book name. Okay, but here we need to use the combo box as before, right? Do it here. Books. We'll show the book ID, title, and we'll also select opening stock. No, we'll stack the retail price. Okay. Just to, I will show you why we need that, because this price we will be using for when we are selling the book. Okay. Let's go. Make it a bit, and store the information here in the book ID table. Finish. We don't need the combo name because it's a tabular form and we'll be using the above. Okay, now what is the next one? Quantity. So we'll move these two fields here. Quantity sold and purchased. Then we go there. Transaction date. Move it here. Okay, transaction data we have now. Let's see what is the next one. Transaction underscore type, I think. What is the next one? Business entity. Let's see how many fields we have here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think this one is, we don't need that. And save it and rename it. Books transaction underscore sales. Okay, let's make the top level. Let's make it a quantity. Then we have a transaction date. Will transaction is a big name, so we'll make it a trnz underscore trnz underscore type ID, right? Business entity. Let's make it b entity ID, biz entity ID, so that we have a space here in this form. Okay, business entity, transaction type ID, date. V underscore transaction underscore date. Okay. So we have this table also done. We'll move to the next table. Close it. Sorry, the forms, another form for the courses. We can make it tabular. Okay, this one is done. Let's do the next form. Master transaction underscore. These are the important forms where we need to work a bit. I will explain everything. Okay, master transactions form. Let's design it. You see, in the master transaction, we have master transaction ID, master transaction date, business entity, supplier or customer, and transaction type and all. Let's create that first. Let's create form visit and we'll select master transaction. Master transaction underscore ID, date. This will be a columnar form. Each form has one record. Okay. I will explain further next. Okay. So master transaction could have this is a primary key, master transaction ID, date we need to enter here, and the supplier customer ID, transaction type. Okay, so we'll design it and then we'll, sorry, again, we have to be at the right place to change it. Okay. It's a bit of lengthy tutorial, but we have to go through all these things uh, because these are the steps we do it by hand by doing it practically that will enhance our understanding into the how these all about databases and then further fields related to that. Okay, And so we have a master transaction ID, master date, and all that. And then we have a supplier customer ID. Okay, so here we will use the combo box. Design, add a combo box. And that is about, we see, business entity. We will go to the business entity table, supplier or customer ID. We don't need we need a person name, and we need the type of a person they are. Okay, let's add this column too. Store this value here in the customer ID, and we'll give it a name, business entity. Okay, so next we have is transaction underscore type. Let's see what it has. Transaction underscore type. So here we will again have to use the comma box. Let's delete it, design it, select a combo box. Next, transaction underscore type table. We want to store this value into our, but we want to see the type, transaction type name. Let's make it okay. I think it should be okay. So make it transaction type. Transaction type. Okay. So we have that. Now there is another step we have to do is we'll make it broader and we'll see what we are working on. Books, transactions underscore purchases. Okay, so I'll show you what we are doing here. We need here a form books transactions underscore purchases. Let's put it there. I will explain further what we are trying to do. Drag it and drop it. Okay. Okay. Once we enter, so here again it's a concept of databases. When we add any master transaction, we will have a master transaction, all that, and then this has to be going directly into the books transaction. And in this books transactions, this books transaction underscore purchases form is linked to the master transaction, right? And then we have to see. Let me go there and show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so we'll double click on this and then go to the properties. Here in the data field, I will copy these fields to make it faster. We'll copy these. Okay, but I think we will have to work on our own. You see these, let me copy these and we'll follow that step. So we have a transaction ID, transaction underscore type, supplier underscore customer, one, two, three, four. Four fields are linked from the master to the there. So let me show you what how to do that. We'll go there. We'll link all of these fields with the first. We'll go there. Master transaction ID should be linked to the master transaction here. And then we also want second field is master transaction date into the master transaction date here. And then we need to link transaction underscore type and then customer ID, supplier customer ID. So there is okay. Let's add another field. Last field we have to add man. Okay, last field we will go by manually. We need also to enter a supplier or customer ID field of that. So we actually add a field here. ID also here. This is not mandatory, but I am doing in this tutorial just to show you how we will enter the data here. Okay. So we'll add another field here. Supplier or customer ID and ID. Okay. business entity. We'll give it a name, business entity, as we have given over there. We can change the names whenever we want, of these automatically updated. Okay, so we also want to link this child field with the supplier or customer ID. Masters, this field will be linked. Just put a small like this, and then we'll add this one, and this will link to the child field of pick from here, and then select OK. Okay, so we have that linked these together, and let's save it. And see, our form is created here. We have no data whatsoever. We'll save it, and we named it, let's design underscore purchases. And will name it underscore purchases. Okay. So we'll create another master transaction underscore sales. So we'll quickly build this one again. We'll basically use the same form to copy it. Let's try this one. It will reduce our work. We'll make it a sales master underscore transactions underscore sales. And then in this one we'll design, and we'll remove purchases one with the sales one. Okay. books transactions, books transactions and underscore sales. And here we have all these fields. Books transactions underscore sales, and this is a master transaction sales. Again, we will link these fields together. Add transaction ID, add master transaction date. Here we'll add type ID. Okay, and then we'll go and add the last bit of the information which will link it. We will link this business entity ID, and from here we'll open it again. Let me this book transactions. Okay. We'll create this table again, and this field again. Okay, let's do that. Let's go to the design mode. Explore customer ID. Okay, we have to of master field. Let's see how many fields we have here. Master transaction date. Okay. Okay, let's save this form. I think we have more. We have to check what's going on here. Oh, I think we added this fields redundant field. Let me do that again. Let's do that again. Okay. Okay, and then there is the last piece of information again. Sorry about that, but it's just a bit of information we need to add. We'll show you why. Okay, the same would be going to here. Okay, so we'll add this here. Now let's see. Okay, so now it's working. So basically what it will do is, again, it will add the master transaction date, business entity type, and so on. Let's save that form and look into our tables. Yeah, basically we have this. Okay. So we have created our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 form, and then there is, I think, another form we have. Master scale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And here, how many forms we have? Okay, here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 books, books transactions, the purchases, books transactions, sales, courses, and the master transactions. This is master sales, master sales, purchases, courses, and books. So basically, we have completed our form, and we have completed our tables. So next, we will create work on the views and query, which we called in access MS Access query, and also we create a report for the inventory, and we'll enter data as well as see how the inventory is automatically updated when the books are sold. The books will be, the inventory will have less books. When the books are purchased, the inventory will have more books automatically by the name and everything. So let's move next. Okay, thank you. Let's start next. Okay, now we have already completed the tables and forms. Now we will work on the same tutorial for the query, Microsoft query. We will design a query and then we will create a report for the inventory. As soon as we buy the books, these will be automatically be included in the inventory, and quantity of books will be increased. And when we sell the books, these will automatically be enter into the inventory, and the books, the respective book quantity would be reduced. So let's start. Okay. So we have already worked on this, and now we will be working on the uh, like first of all, for creating a report, we need to have a view or a query on which our report is based. So I already created a query, but we will recreate it, and then step by step I will guide you what I have done here. Okay, so let me show you what it's. So this is the query which extract the information from books transactions and then and the related tables. Okay. So let me show you, first of all, let me show you the design of that view. We utilize the as we entered the data from our forms, and this data is stored into various controls on our master transactions and master transaction purchases and master transaction sales into the books transactions and the master transaction table. Master transaction table and the books transaction table. Once the data with the foreign keys of the related tables are inside, we join these to the related tables and create our view. Okay, let's recreate that view. I will create it, create query design, and I will see, I will use the books table. Let me open that in a new window so that okay. First of all, let's select all these tables which we're going to be using in that. Books, books transactions, books entity, business underscore entity underscore type, master underscore transactions, transaction type. See, these views are automatically generated because we already have defined these here in referential integrity, right? So once we created the query, it automatically linked these tables together because we already defined these. What is it means? In case there is some auto join, sometime it happens, we will remove that. I think this is we have to remove it. Okay. So we just added the table, and these are now linked together. And so here we are in a books query, books inventory, and this. Let's close this window. We don't need that. And this is our new query. First of all, let's save it. Let's give it a inventory 2. Inventory inventory 2. Okay. So it's a books inventory which I already created to follow along the tutorial. Follow along with the tutorial. So let's see, in the inventory table, first of all, we have a books transactions at number 1. Let's bring it here. Okay. Let's do then books. We'll bring the books here, and then we have master transaction. Let's bring it here, and then we have a business entity. Bring it here, and then we have a master transaction already there, and then transaction underscore type. One, two, three, four, five tables. We have not included business entity underscore type. Okay, let's do first. Let me remove that. We have not used in this. So we have 5 tables. Transaction type, master transaction, business entity, books, and books transactions. So first of all, we need a TRS detail underscore ID. That will come under this. Double click that, we have it here. Now books title. We'll double click. I'm not going into the details of the SQL. Maybe in a next tutorial we will look in further in details into the coding of SQL and other things. But in this tutorial, it's kind of visually I will complete all this project to enhance the understanding how these databases works, right? So next is quantity sold or purchased. And then we have purchase price, purchase purchase price, master transaction underscore ID, business entity, we'll need a person underscore name. So we'll go for a person under business entity, person underscore name. Okay. We'll take the master transaction date. Then we have a person underscore name, transaction type underscore name, transaction type underscore name, opening stock. So opening stock will come from the books, sub attribute of the book. Master transaction date we have master transaction ID also. Okay. Okay. I think we have all what we need. Let me give you some overview of what I have done. For one thing, we included here. We have to do a little bit of some SQL. We have to touch the SQL just a bit to do something. For example, adjusted quantity. Adjusted quantity will we can go into the SQL side because all the SQL is already written, but I want to show you what I have done here. It's, uh, it's part of that tutorial. Today, okay, so we have selected all the fields, but there is one field which we selected, this one. This is a calculated field. It says if transaction type dot transaction underscore type name is equal to sales. If it's a sales, then books transaction quantity underscore sold underscore purchase into -1. Else books transaction quantity underscore sold, and then it's a bracket as adjusted quantity. No, as adjusted quantity. Opening stock. I think okay. Let's do that. Need this field. Okay. Now we are in our inventory table and opening stock. We'll put a comma and then we'll enter our new field. Mm. So the inventory which we created now, inventory 2, we have now adjusted quantity. What does it, what will it do is, because in our form we enter the data and the data is stored as a quantity is shown as a quantity sold or purchased, right? It doesn't record any sign because naturally when we sell the books, these gonna be deducted from our existing quantity. And if we buy the books, these will be added. So that's what I did here. If transaction type is equal to sales, then it's a syntax. We'll do it. We'll do some practice on these. It will by practice. It will be more uh, like comprehensible. You know, like what it does. Okay. Adjusted quantity if transaction type underscore name is equal to sales, books transaction quantity sold into -1, then comma, otherwise quantity sold or purchased, and then brackets. Okay, so we did that. Let's run that and see. I have already entered some data. We'll do it again. See, we purchases. We purchased some books and we sold some books, right? These are the, you see, transaction types are coming here, sales and purchases. Opening stock is also coming here, and then adjusted quantity is coming here, which we calculated here, right? So when we sell anything, it will be converted to, you see, there's a quantity sold or purchased is coming. So when we make the sale, retail customer, sales 15, adjusted quantity will be -4. And the same, wherever there is a sale, it will comes to minus, it will convert it to -5. But in the database, we will store it as all these in the figures. That's how we utilize these and multiply these on a runtime. Whenever we are running the application, it automatically converts it into a negative and then and minus into the positive value. So that's how it works. And this one is SQL. This query is done. Let me show you just. I will touch something about a little bit of SQL. Uh, Although this all SQL is written by Microsoft Access, when we entered the table and selected these fields, except one field where we calculated the adjusted quantity, all the other SQL language is written by the Microsoft Access automatically. But I want to just quickly show you what does it says. So it says select books transactions dot transaction ID transaction star quantity, then the, all these fields are selected. And I quickly show you that, this part of this, it will do more in-depth work on these, but we can practice gradually to advanced level queries. But most of the work is, the beauty of the Microsoft Access is that it does all the coding work itself, except there where there is some uh, calculations and all that, it saves a lot of time. Then it says from transactions underscore types, see, it select all these fields from all the tables we selected. And then we have to join these tables. We already have relationships with them. And it says from transaction underscore type inner join book entity inner join master transaction on entity dot supplier customer ID is equal to master dot customer ID. So that's how it joins these fields in the SQL. But we will work step by step into that. Right now, we don't need to work because we are working on a project uh, for just to without any this involvement in the SQL. Maybe in the next tutorial we will gradually touch and we do that. But most of the work can be is already accomplished by Microsoft Access. Okay, so let's go to the report. So we'll create this kind of a report, and I will show you how this what this report is doing. Whenever we enter a data, it goes into the tables, then it is selected by the query, and then this query is converted into a report which shows that Microsoft the biology 101 opening stock was 10. So master transaction through the master transaction 9, detail transaction 11, sales transaction date was this, quantity which we sell 1. minus 1. So balance comes to, opening balance was 10. So it balance comes to 10 minus 1, 9. Then we purchased the book. Then we sold the book, minus 5. Quantity is minus 5. So 9 minus 5, 4. Then we purchase the books, the same book. Transaction, master transaction through the, I'm trying to, I'm showing these because this is an important concept. Otherwise, we don't need these here because report should be very simple. But I'm showing these all to explain the concept of master transaction and the transaction details. Each master transaction can have many detailed transactions. Then we have a transaction 7, transaction detail 8. We purchased on the second. You see, when the second, the transaction, master transaction is 7, then and quantity we purchased 4. So right now the quantity comes to 9. This quantity comes to 15. Let me change a bit sorting so it will more readable. Let's go to home, grouping and sorting. Add a sort. We will sort the transaction details from smallest to largest. Let's see now how it looks like. Okay, so here we see that now we'll start from the purchases because it will start, say, it shows that what happened with this book in the last few days. We purchased books on 1 to 2nd of January. Quantity we purchased 4, so total quantity comes to 14. Then we sold 5 books. Quantity was minus 5, 14, 9. Then we sold one more book, 8. See here the party name retail customer. So these two are retail customer. These are when we purchase from unique books, ABC books. That's how this report comes. Let's create that. Create report wizard. Okay, in the report wizard we will take the we just created our inner. And we'll take all these fields here. Next, we'll go by the, do you want any grouping? We want a book title as a group on the title. So we know that what each book's details. Okay, so now we have to work on it. We'll go, it puts all these fields here. Now we'll design it. Okay, we'll follow the book report we already created just to make things, make a tutorial faster. So in this we have basically we have a page header. Does it have a page header? Basically with this page header we should. Okay. Page header does not have any field. Okay, we'll close it. And then books inventory, make it design form. Title, opening stock, and label and field. Okay. So same thing here. We'll put the title here. And then add another field. We'll add a label. Opening stock, and then we'll add field and we select. You see this window is a property sheet. I'm just working, so I'm not going into all these things. So this will make a tutorial very slow. But when I'm doing the work, I'm showing you what I'm doing, so it can be helpful. And if any questions, just send me the comments or message me through the comments. So I'll explain. Okay. So that will be the opening stock. We'll select this field. Okay. And this is blue color. Let's make it blue. Format. Blue. Oh, it's format. No. White. Text should be blue. And make it bold because this is a header. Okay. Now it says master transaction underscore ID, transaction detail, and all these things, right? So let's do this here. I think this is the master transaction underscore ID. It's date. We'll have it later on, but right now we need master transaction underscore. We'll follow the same sequences in our previous master transaction underscore ID. Okay. And then we have transaction TRS detail. Okay. Let's do this here. And then we have transaction type. Okay, so we have a transaction type also here. Now we go to transaction date, master transaction date, and then we have quantity, balance. Okay, we'll use the adjusted quantity. We'll use adjusted quantity, and then we have person underscore name. We don't need a purchase price here because it's just an inventory. We'll opening balance we don't need, we already have updated. Okay, one more thing we need to let me explain now what I'm going to do. It's we will calculate the balance. We have done that in Excel, Microsoft Excel, but here it's a different thing. It's principle is same. So here we have our adjusted quantity. Let's write down. Let's create the table, the labels also. Design label. Okay. M tier detail. M tier DTL. Okay. Master transaction detail. M tier. Okay. Let's do that. Now we have. Let's copy these. Don't know how many labels we need, but I just. Okay. So next is tier detail. It's not a master, it's just a tier detail. Okay. Transaction date. No, it's a transaction type. Hmm. Tier TYPE, tier type, transaction type. Okay, then we need a label for master transaction date. Transaction date M tier date. Okay, MT master transaction date. Because the master transaction date we entered in master transaction, that date is basically is unique for every master transaction, and then they have related transactions, then adjusted quantity. That will be give it a name, quantity. Quantity. Okay, so now one thing this is, let's first do that, and then I will, in the next step, I will do it. Balance, okay. Party name, let's do that. And delete these, make this bit top, and then one more thing we want to do is we'll make a line. I like this because it will separate the titles from each other. Let me do that again. Okay. Okay. These lines sometimes makes reports legible to read. Let's see what it shows now. See, biology, we have, based on the data we have this thing. I will run that test again, but I'm showing you what we have now here. We have master transaction details, we have transaction details, transaction type sales or purchases, and we have to bit align these things. See what it is. Oh, quantity sold, and I think we don't need that field because we use the adjusted quantity field. Okay. And let's go to the format. Let's do that and see how it looks like now. Okay. So transaction date looks fine now. We have opening stock. We have quantities sold and purchases. I will align these so the smaller comes first, and then here we will go to the design sorting, and in the sorting we will add sort transaction detail underscore ID from smallest to largest. We can do that largest to smaller, but we will do here smallest to largest. That's our requirement here. So we have 7, 8, 9. So these are the master transactions and these are the related transactions, right? Because we are grouping on a book. So for example, so, transaction 7, master transaction 7 have different books. Because in the same order we can, because we are grouping on the title. So it goes under the title, same transaction, but we bought this thing. Where is the book title is not coming? Oh, book title is above here. So we bought computers and introduction, and we bought these on 9th, transaction 9, on the 2nd of January, and the quantity we bought 6. Let me align these two also. Hmm. Okay, so the quantity is coming here, but now we need a balance so that it will automatically does this work. So we need a column here which shows balance. Okay, for that we need to do a bit of work. It's not just a very small amount of work we'll do here. We'll go to the design, and I will show you uh, some functions in the Microsoft Access reporting tool. So we have here quantity and adjusted quantity, but we want to add this and we want to see the balance here. So let's first create a title here. Balance. And under the balance, we will copy and place it here. Put it here. And then we'll do its property. Let's do some work. Okay, show you something. Properties window. So we will make a running sum. This column we will make a running sum over a group. We want to do it on a group basis. On each book, it stops running total good should stop at each group. Okay, so we'll do that and we'll hide it because we don't want to show that. We wanna do some calculation. We need to create a formula, so we'll hide it, format, and we'll hide that. Visible is equal to no. Let's run it. Okay, so this column is not showing here. Now what we'll do is let's close it and add another text box. It's a text is text. Write down this number text 39. So we have text 39. Okay, and we delete this label. We don't need that label, but we need this number to calculate our running our balance, right? So in this we will running total. It's a text 39 is equal to text text 39 plus opening opening stock. Let's do that. What it does. Okay. Oh, sorry. It's a text 20. Let me see what it is. Okay. Let's. text 41. I think it will work now. And we'll hide this one. Okay, so balance is now we hide this column, but we run the cumulative total. Let me show you also what I did. I'll show you the column while it's running total. Okay, so what it does is it calculates 4 and then it's -5. What is basically it's calculating these 4 -5 minus and -5 6 6 minus 4, so it comes to uh, -2. So the two cells we have. Okay, that's a running total. Let me hide it because it shows that when this -1 plus minus 5, it comes to 6, and then it comes to -2 here at the end, because 4 -6 -4, it's 2 at the ending values. You see -6 -4 plus -2, and then it's 6. So we'll designer will hide that. Now, so for when we bought quantities, for the total quantity comes to 14, right? Then we sold books 5. So 5 will be subtracted from the balance of last day, and it comes to 9 now. Then we sold one book, then it will be deducted from the previous sold book, right? So that's how it calculates the balance. Okay, So that's the report, and that, I think that is the end of our tutorial. But I will now I will just quickly run some tests and show you what this project is doing. We have done everything by hand, like we created the tables, we created the form, we created query, we created report. All of these, if you do that at your own pace, follow these steps, it will, I believe, it will help you to understand these Microsoft Access in particular and databases in general, right? So let me close that. We'll run some tests, data testing. So we have the books transactions. All of these are books transaction. We did that. Let's delete that data. Let's see what happened. Yes, let's say yes. Now if we go to our report, we have nothing, right? Let's step by step create two transactions. Let's make purchases. Master. Always do the transaction from the master transaction. Purchase or sale. Let's first we have to purchase. For example, we bought on the 1st of January 2025. We bought from XYZ books. Transaction type, obviously it's a purchase. And then we will enter a book introduction to math. You see this transaction ID master transaction automatically came here. If it's not enter here, it will transaction will not be successful. But we did all these in the form. If you follow all these steps, you will see how we link these forms, the master and details and everything. So for example, we bought let's say we bought 20 books. Purchase price we paid $25. 1st of January date, all these things are automatically entered. Okay. Let's buy another book. Biology 101. 10. 30. $30 purchase price. Let's say we bought French as a second language. 3 books. And we bought 10 for $10. Okay. Let's do that. Let's complete this. Close it. Let's run to the let's go to the inventory. Did we buy bought the books? Okay, we bought one book, mathematics also. Okay, you see this table, this field is not being deleted. Let's okay, so we have deleted all these records. Okay, now let's freshly enter the records and see what we got. Okay, books transactions, master transactions. Okay, so all of these are deleted now. Okay, enter a new transaction. Let's say it's XYZ books, purchases, biology 101, 12, price 25. Okay, and then we add French as a second language. So we bought 3 books: biology, French, and computers. Let's make this 50. Okay, let's enter these and close it and see what. Okay, so we have 3 transactions here. All of these are purchases, right? So let's go into our inventory. See, in the inventory which we created from the inventory 2 view, we bought biology 101. This is the master transaction is one same, but you see these are the 3 different transactions for each transaction, right? On the 1st of January, 12 books we bought. Now we got balance is 22. Then we bought 15, so balance becomes 30 because we have the opening stock already. And French is a second language, 10, so it becomes 30. Let's sold some books and we will end this tutorial, right? Just to show you it works. Okay, new transaction. Let's say on the 3rd of January, we sold to the retail customer because it's always their business model is retailing. Okay, so they will have retail customer sales, book ID. Let's say biology 101. We sold 2. Okay, we will not give the price here because it's just an inventory table. Okay, let's sell another book. We have computer introductions 3. Okay. Okay. So at the end, this right now we're all using all these functionality given us out of the box in the Microsoft Access. So we'll use this uh, button at the lower last to enter this record, right? Because this is for the master transaction, this is for the transaction details. And we already explained that each master transaction could have many transactions details. Okay, let's go and look into our inventory. Now let's say what's happening here. We purchase on the 1st of January 12 books from XYZ Books, and then we sold 3 on the 3rd of January under master transaction 12, transaction detail 19, type sales, and -2. So this -2 books were sold, and the balance comes to 22. So that's I think that's the main end of our tutorial. So uh, in general, we touch most of the, I think we'll touch most of the objects of the Microsoft Access, like these are the tables, object type. We touch the tables, queries, forms, reports, right? We have worked on all of these, and I think if you practice on this project and try to do it by hand, then it will enhance your understanding. And that's it. In case any information, just leave the comment and I will answer. Thank you very much.